Hey y'all, welcome to my channel. For those of you returning, welcome back. And for those of you that are new, hello, my name is Erica. I'm a homeschooling, homemaking mama of 5. This is my messy bathroom, and this is just a regular status for the last couple months. It's just I work and I don't come home and clean like I should. I started out really well when I first went back to work. I have been a stay-at-home mom for about 9 years, well, had been. We homeschool our 4 out of our 5 children. Our oldest son, he's moved out. He turned 18. So when I went back to work, I did really well at first, keeping up with the routine with the house. And then I just slowly picked up a few more hours here and there. And I just kind of fell back into bad habits, I guess. I've never really been the best at homemaking as far as cleaning goes. And, I have these spurts where I do really well and then I backslide. So I don't know. Some of it's my ADHD, but, that excuse, well, it's not really an excuse. It does explain a lot of the ways I do things, but there comes a point when I'm like, okay, well, that's the reason, so you're going to have to find some way to work around it or find a different method. Enough's enough. But this week, I was really thinking about it. I need to just be more intentional with my chores, and I know that might sound a little odd. Like, I do schedule sometimes, and I do timers, and timers are the only thing that really seem to be a consistent with me. Is that the word I'm looking for? Or something that just really always works. I tried schedules over the years, and yeah, they work okay, but they're just not that great for me to keep up with. So now I'm just like, I'm going to focus on just one thing at a time. This week I chose to focus on something that was really actually not related to the house, but to Joe. We're working on his reading this week. His reading's been a number one priority, and I thought, what, when I come home, if I at least do one thing that is, house related, it's going to be Joe's reading. Now, my other kids, that's not that their homeschool's being neglected, but all 3 of them are on an independent based study curriculum. Mason, my 15-year-old son, does his online on Penn Foster, so there's absolutely nothing I do except make sure he doesn't cheat. My daughter, hers is pretty much independent. I make sure she doesn't cheat. I grade her stuff, and if she has any questions, which unless it's math related, she normally does pretty well. And, the same with my 13-year-old. We have a little couple things that we do here and there, like I'll give him a spelling test, and then we do his math lesson each day, but it usually takes about 30 minutes, so it's not a big deal. Let me explain about the cleaning here. Obviously, I'm cleaning my bathroom. I like to clean from bottom to top when it comes to my vanity, just because I don't like to clean the cleaner off of the glass. It seems like multi-purpose spray leaves streaks, but I see a ton of people clean their glass with multi-purpose spray. How do y'all not get it to streak? Like, am I missing something? I have a really good rag and stuff, but I don't know. And I like to take my rag that I clean my mirror with and then wipe around the sink, to get all like the hair and stuff out, and the little dusties that seem to take forever to get up. So this chair, y'all, is a catch-all, as you know, and I'm just putting all this stuff up. There's no reason for it. I just piled it up because I really didn't want to walk the 3 feet to the closet. Now, our closet right this moment is a disaster because the shelf broke. But y'all, I'm not gonna lie, it looked messy before. You really can't tell that the shelf broke because it's still just as messy as it was before. But back to Joe's reading. My whole thing this week was that's just what I was going to focus on getting done when I got home from work. If there was one thing I did when I got home besides dinner and usually a load of laundry, it was going to be Joe's school. Laundry was another thing I focus on, and I don't really do that on purpose. I mean, I kind of do it on purpose, but I have to do laundry almost every night because I only have 2 aprons, and I usually work 3 or 4 days right in a row, so it does really well to help keep me on track with laundry, so I have to appreciate that. But as far as things that I didn't absolutely have to do, Joe's reading was something I was focusing on. So he's already ahead this year. We started homeschool for kindergarten year at the very beginning of the summer. So he's halfway through the year. So it's not like he was going to be left behind or we just weren't going to do school this week. But we do it a lot of times on the weekend. We'll do big chunks of it. You know, he's got a system that we're chunking away at. My messy kitchen. All right, I'm going to make spiced apple cider or caramel apple cider. We're going to use spiced. So that way you don't have to add the seasonings or anything. So Starbucks has a caramel apple cider that I really, really like. And I meant to get one while we were on vacation, but I didn't. So,
hello.
So first things first, you open your cider mix.
Can I watch? Can I help, Mom?
Yeah, you can help. Just a sec, babe. First, we're gonna open this.
I want the red one.
Well, that's green.
I want the red one.
That's fine. You can have the red one, but Mommy's
and I can make mine.
This is just regular Hershey's caramel syrup.
Can I make mine, Mom?
Yeah, honey. Hold on a sec. There's really no trick to this. You just put a whole bunch of caramel in it. Mix it on in there. I already had my water boiling.
Hey, Mom. Please.
Joe, I've got this film. Hold on a minute. Okay, so then you just pour your boiling water over it and you kind of, honey, I heard you, just a sec. Just kind of stir it so it melts that and gets it going. I used to go through all the trouble of getting the spices and the cinnamon sticks and everything else. I found that this is just as good and it's a lot easier. So, you know, you kind of stir, it's hot, yeah.
And guys, that is hot. So wait until it cools down, guys. My finger.
Okay, then we take the extra creamy, I don't know what that stuff is, you guys. I guess it's just the leftover bits and pieces.
Yeah. I know we. Ta-da.
And then, because you know what? You can never have too much caramel. There you go.
And then
what? And that is your spiced caramel apple cider. All right, who wants to try this first one? So I thought I'd just throw in one of my favorite fall treats. It's incredibly simple to make, as y'all saw, and my kids loved it. I loved it. Joe didn't care too much for it. It was too hot for him to drink at first, and then he let it sit on the counter and he never ended up drinking it. So y'all know what I'm getting ready to do. I am making my bed because I have got to fold laundry, but I made sure that I didn't let it get too out of control. I think I have about 2 loads that I'm gonna fold. So that's something I think next week I'm really going to focus on, is just keeping up with the laundry. But, you know, I'm going to try and do it just day by day and really work on building habits, because it seems like if I do something like a challenge, or, you know, like this week I'm going to do this, I'm going to make sure that by 9 o'clock all my clothes are folded and put up, I just put more pressure on myself and then I burn myself out with it. So I really just need to work on building better habits. Okay, so this is something that I was actually working on too. I'm really bad to pile Joe's clothes up in a basket, clean clothes, of course, and then not put them away. And then they end up, you know, in a big mess. So what I did here is I went and I cleared the basket up. I made sure all his clean clothes got put away. And then after this video, well, after I leave the room, Joe comes in here and I have him clean his room. I've been trying to get him to clean it on more of a regular basis. We don't have a particular time, which I do understand the benefit of having a schedule and having a routine. I really do, y'all. But realistically with me, it doesn't work. And yes, those were clean clothes that I picked up off the floor to go fold, because that's just who I am. I'm not saying that there aren't things that I do need to change. Like, I really shouldn't leave my clean clothes on the floor, and I need to be better about it. But I keep setting all these goals for myself, and then I'm really hard on myself when I don't achieve them, or I give up on them too early. So it's just, I'm gonna just do little small baby steps right now and just focus, you know, week by week or day by day, just making sure that I at least do, you know, 1 or 2 things each day that I work. You know, my house isn't going to be clean while my kids are still at home and while I'm working. It's just not going to be up to my standards. But that doesn't mean that a load of laundry can't be done every day and the dishes can't at least be ran through the dishwasher. There might still be a couple in the sink, and that'll be okay. Oh, yeah, dumped it over, y'all. I was trying to get myself situated so I could watch Zombie House Flippers. It's not as goofy as it sounds. I guess they take these old dilapidated homes and then redo them. And the quality of the show is great, but the actors on it or the people that are designing it are so ridiculously rehearsed and fake that it's really difficult to watch. So I almost have to watch it with the sound off. But that's what I was watching while I was folding my clothes. So next week, I'm going to focus on laundry, and I'm going to continue with Joe's reading. My kids help a lot around the house. They've been doing really well with keeping up with the kitchen. So, they're still their kids though, and they learn, and there's always a dish or two I've got to stick in the dishwasher, or, stuff that I've got to learn to get over too. And then there's also things that they just need to learn how to do. There's stuff I forget that I have been doing for so long, that kids don't know how to do. But, I feel like I've maybe I'm not being hard on myself. I'm actually really proud. I was noticing, especially watching back this video, specifically my laundry room. If you all have been here from the beginning, that room has been a constant mess. And it was messy just now in the video, and I'm actually proud of that mess. I know that might sound weird, but that was like nothing, compared to what it had been, and it took me no time to clean it up. And I'm really proud of myself for how far I've come with that. It used to be, it would take me a good 45 minutes to just get it to where it didn't look like my kids and I had gone in there like a big tornado and just flung it around. Another big thing that I've done this year that I'm really proud of myself, and since, starting YouTube, was I've taught my kids how to do laundry. Now they do their own laundry. I'm really proud of them. They are great to get their clothes in and out. Every now and then they'll leave a load in the dryer, but they do really well. It's taken a load of stress off of me, a load of work off of me. No pun intended. But it's, that's a great thing that's happened this year. There've been a lot of good things. So I've made a ton of progress. And, but I'm not going to be perfect. My house is not going to be perfect. And that's going to be okay. But I do need to, always need to keep working and keep moving. And I'll figure it out eventually. Or I'll just learn to be content with, what I've got now. So, but next week I think laundry is going to be my main focus after Joe's reading. We'll probably switch back to math here in a few weeks just to finish up his book and just to keep him going. But I really want to put an effort into his reading. Not that we don't always put effort into homeschooling, but y'all, it's just been a big focus. So I don't know, is homeschooling, is that something you guys are really interested in? I don't talk too much about it. I mention it here and there just because it's usually a part of my day. And this channel really isn't focused on homeschooling at all. I mean, it's just part of our life. So it's more of a homemaking, really just the cleaning, and I'm not going to say decluttering because I'm not really that great at it, but y'all know what I mean. So if that's ever something you guys want to hear more about, I'd be more than happy to talk about it, but it's just not something I ever really think about when I'm doing this channel. So if you don't know, I do not fold my clothes, most of mine, and put them up. I hang all of my t-shirts, most of my pants, they end up kind of folded up, or like my jeans and stuff, I hang them all up, and then the other little things just end up in like a little tote in my closet. Why I say little tote, it's a big messy tote. That's something I've got to get under control, is my closet. I've really been struggling with that this year too. I moved my closet, actually we took my closet completely out and I combined with my husband, so we have a giant walk-in closet, but he and I are terrible when it comes to our clothes. We are just terrible adults. That's where we really struggle. It looks like a bunch of teenagers went in there, and I don't know. But so anyway, I'm just hanging up my clothes and putting all the rest of the stuff up. So I guess that's about it though for this video. Thank you guys so much for taking the time out of your day to watch my video. You guys are just so awesome, and I love you all so much. All of this just means so much to me. And I absolutely cannot wait to talk to y'all in the next one, and I hope you have a blessed one. Bye.